Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.
Hello, my name is Mike, and today's show is brought to you by our Amazon page. Please remember to shop at MikeO'MaraShow.com/Amazon. It's quite simply the best way to support this show. If you need it, Amazon has it, and you can get it at MikeO'MaraShow.com/Amazon. Bookmark it, please.
Available on demand every day in iTunes and the Google Play Store, and around the world on MikeO'MaraShow.com. What more can we do for you? It's the Mike O'Mara Show.
He sends personal birthday greetings to people he has never met. He once avoided controversy by failing to accuse a neighbor of stealing his trash can. He has a season pass to a local theme park. He is known for his skill at hosting elementary school talent shows. He has vacationed every year for the past decade at his father's house. When challenged, he chooses to let his wife take a nap. He has an extensive collection of vintage microphones. His collection of sweatshirts is unrivaled in the county where he lives. Organizing his records alphabetically is something he can do for an entire weekend. He knows exactly where the maraschino cherries are in every grocery store within a 10-mile radius. He engages in online discussion with people who think they're really witty. He has a dog named after a Peanuts character. He once worked in a furniture store. He can tell you what celebrity recently died. He hates sports. He loves black and white movies. He's very white. He snores. He can't see his penis. He hates anyone who's thin and successful. He really doesn't care. He is the most uninteresting man in the world.
Yeah, I could use a beer.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show. You can listen to the Mike O'Mara Show at www.mikeomarashow.com.
Stay tuned for an outstanding entertainment program.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show.
Let's get down to business.
From the entertainment capital of the world.
Rusty, you know what? You're right. This is fun.
Oh, sure. Yeah, you got to relive the old days while you have the chance. Like, remember when we were little? Remember that one time? You pretended to be dead, and I cried, and you still pretended to be dead, so I cried more. And then you laughed and called me a moron and tickled me till I peed myself, and I cried.
What? I never did that.
Sure you did. You used to do that stuff to me all the time.
Yeah, you don't know what you're talking about. Like what kind of stuff?
Well, you told me Jesus didn't love me. That one hurt, because all the kids at Sunday school always said, Jesus loves me. So I thought, man, this Jesus guy loves everybody. What's his beef with me?
Wow. Rusty, I'm sorry.
There was this one time you locked me in the closet all night, and I cried, and you said if I didn't stop crying, then Bobby Sherman would kill our mom.
Bobby Sherman, the singer?
Yeah.
Why would you believe that Bobby Sherman, the singer, was going to kill Mom?
Because I believed everything you told me. Like, remember in high school, I wanted to be a meteorologist, but you told me my body would look womanly against the weather map. That's when I got into the old pet dirt biz. We all know how that worked out.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show. Mike O'Mara, Rob Spiewak, Oscar Santana. And now, from his office chair, here's Mike.
Coming to you live from the Cabby Pfeiffer studio in the heart of our nation's capital, Washington, D.C.,
This is the Mike O'Mara Show.
We're also down in South Florida, too.
On the air and online worldwide, the Mike O'Mara Show is a daily radio show and podcast with the greatest listeners on the planet because they get it. And if you're here, ladies and gentlemen, you do too. I want to tell you about something that is a great value. I like to tell you that often, and we talk about it often. It's Harry's, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, my God, the best.
Don't be a fool, okay? Stop getting tricked by big-name razor companies. You don't need to pay an arm and a leg. All you need is Harry's. Harry's puts nearly a century of shaving experience into each blade for a superior shave every time, and at half the price of those big-name brands, the average shaver spends $300 a year on blades. Why not cut that in half with Harry's? Try it, and you'll be a Harry's guy for life with extraordinary savings on all your shaving needs. You'll love it. You can get $5 off your first purchase with our code TMOS. That means the starter set is only $10. You get the razor, the 3 blades, a bottle of shaving cream, all sent straight to your door with no middleman. And you know how I feel about middlemen. They are responsible for a lot of anguish in this country. So take out the middleman, and don't forget free shipping, too. As always, your satisfaction is 100% guaranteed, or your money back. Go to harrys.com right now.
Tomorrow is too late.
Enter the code TMOS at checkout for $5 off your first order of a starter set. That's right. With the code TMOS, you get a month's worth of shaving for just $10. That's HARRYS.com and the TMOS code at checkout. TMOS. I always trip on that a little bit.
TMOS.
TMOS. And change the way you shave forever, yeah.
Do you know what I got in the mail yesterday? My Harry's subscription, because I subscribe to Harry's, and every month I get a package.
You tear up blades more than anybody else, so I know you.
But that's the thing. I can't. The blades last so long that I actually get a glut of blades. It's fantastic.
He's stockpiling.
I have a brand new one ready to go at all time. You may want to keep an eye on your mailbox, mister.
I will tell you, when you sent me your extras, that was something. I'm still using those, and I like that.
They last forever, these
because
blades.
Although I have facial hair, I will tell you that I think it takes a while, especially with these redneck sideburns I'm trying to grow.
Are those coming
They're
along,
not.
Elvis?
You can't look. You can't see them. You can't see them.
You look like Dirk Bentley.
They're just not working, but I'm not. I usually get impatient with them. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to.
Can we
keep
see a better look at those with the camera? Because I know you have the high def camera.
I see that.
Yeah, it looks.
Yeah,
good.
but it's like it's too white. It's why I used to color my beard to start with, because when my kind of gray beard hair becomes like almost translucent.
Yes. But Mike, it looks great under evening lighting.
Spooky.
Yeah, you can.
You should wear black all the time.
What's that?
If you wore black all the time, the contrast would be great.
Oh.
Yes, but then I wouldn't wear my Florida pastel.
You know what you need to do? Really, the clothing won't affect it. What you need to do is tan yourself a chocolatey brown.
Oh.
Yeah. And
Well,
then you look fantastic.
that's not going to happen either, because if I go out in the sunshine for too long down here, I roast, and I don't want to roast.
No.
I truly don't. Right out of the chute today, I would really love, since we've got Rofo and since I can see his oversized head right here, I would really love to get Oscar, who spent a lot of time in Arlington/Falls Church, and Rofo to discuss the Falls Church story that we have not touched on, and that is the boozing in Falls Church. Apparently, a study came out that said Falls Church, Virginia, a delightful suburb of Washington, D.C.
And home to the State Theater.
You need to tweak either your gain or something, because you're sounding a little off, Mike. So I want to make sure you tweak it just a little bit here. So let me hear you now.
Better? Does that sound any better?
That
to
is
you?
much better.
Excellent.
That is much better. Thank
Very
you.
Good.
So what the story was? What it was that Falls Church per capita.
I think it has the highest percentage of people that drink.
Yes.
But I'm bringing up the story right now to make sure we have the facts right.
All right. Very good. Rofo, and you live in Falls Church right now. Does any of it have to do with the beer that's consumed in your home on a daily basis? I mean, are you drinking regularly or what?
I will occasionally. I had been off for a while, but I've started back up, partially under inspiration of my hero radio legend, Mike O'Mara.
Now, did you change your ways when I went?
That was his prepared bit, Mike.
Hero.
When I thank you. They might They might mock it. I simply take it as a fact.
That's not the first time he's heard that.
Let me ask you this: I know that I was off the sauce for a while, and I have welcomed it back
Yes.
with my new little likes and dislikes. I'm quite into the Belgian whites right now.
Mike,
yes, go ahead. Oscar.
really, it shouldn't be about
Rob.
color. I just want you to know.
I know it shouldn't be about color.
But here's
and-
this is from the Falls Church. I guess this is the Falls Church News Press website. Do you still take the Falls Church News Press?
Yeah.
It's the paper of record. And
honest to God, if you're looking for a dresser,
that's the place to go.
just saying.
All right, this is by noted journalist Jody Fellows. Jody Fellows writes, Falls Church adults lead the nation in overall alcohol drinking, according to a new study from the American Journal of Public Health. A report published on Thursday, that was a week ago today, by the Journal, says that 78.7% of those 21 years and older in Falls Church have at least one drink a month, and that is the highest percentage in the country.
Nice.
In the country. And you're missing out, Mike, on another famous Falls Church resident, Horny Bob Spiewak.
Oh, that's right. HBS has a condo there.
Mrs. Horny Bob Spiewak, who
Well,
both
and we know
enjoyed
that
tipping a few.
she starts at 10 o'clock in the morning just because she's married to him.
Yeah, well, of course. She's
I mean, you just,
how many
it's like-
times have I seen her throw open the window and just go, Cameron Hughes! Cameron Hughes! Where are you?
And incidentally, Bob's wife Kathy is a lovely lady,
Yes.
and Kathy will just sit at
tolerant
home.
woman.
A very tolerant, sit at
Patient
home
woman, yes.
And so I have to do this off mic because Kathy almost twice, 3 times a week will say, "I don't understand why he has to put those goddamn pictures every day." And it's like, oh, you think her ass was fat enough, Bob? I mean, is that bikini ass fat enough for you? You like the big bottoms, don't you, Bob? You like the.
I heard she left Facebook just because of HBS.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm off Facebook now, but I'm sitting in my living room, and I like this. I need some more Pinot Grigio.
You know what she hates more than this is funny, I think. She really doesn't mind the pinups.
That's pretty incredible for a woman. That's a strong
Especially
woman that
these
doesn't
days.
mind that.
No,
And-
but she's from a different generation.
Well, in what
hold on
way?
a second. Hold on. How would that affect the?
Well, women, they don't make women like they used to.
Yeah, but I don't
Women-
think women tolerated that crap in the
well,
old days.
Women
If
like
anything,
HBS
I think
is-
the modern woman would be more likely to tolerate it.
Yeah, you remember
No.
back in the day, ladies and gentlemen, you know those fabulous days when women really enjoyed porn.
That's right.
No.
Well, Mike,
It's
women
not-
discovered porn when the men shipped off to Germany
It's not that
in
they're-
World War II.
It's not that they're more open-minded, but she probably, with all due respect to HBS's wife, I don't know her, but I imagine she's a woman that likes HBS to make the rules, and if HBS says this is what I'm into, that's what she's gonna be tolerant of.
Wow, this is like
Jesus
like
Christ.
the episode 8 of Star Wars. This is all theory and fiction right here. This is great. On the planet Naboo.
Back in the day when women would say, "Oh, look at that, Horace! I see you're putting a naked picture of one of those Ziegfeld girls up and sending it out to the neighbors." I'm so pleased. That is so wonderful. Thank you, Horace.
Look,
anyway.
it's a nude of the First Lady, Mrs. Woodrow Wilson.
Methinks Mr. Santana is projecting his ideal world
Could be.
onto Kathy Spiewak. So,
But what she
no,
hates, what she really can't stand is the fact that my father and I will watch an old movie numerous times. And she'll come in and say my dad is watching, I don't know, say like a monster movie, say The Bride of Frankenstein, for lack of a better example. And
Good,
he's
Kathy.
watching
I'm with
it,
you on that one,
but
Kathy.
she comes in and she says, you're watching that again? You're watching that again? And
Well, yeah, I have that too. I'll get it like a movie like Goodfellas, where Carla will say, "You've watched that movie like 15 times." I said, "Oh no, I've watched it many more
But
times
that's
than 15."
Goodfellas.
Thank you.
But I mean,
yeah, but
it's-
yeah,
I
this
mean,
is true.
Frankenstein.
But it is have to do with any movie that has
I'm
been
with you.
watched numerous times. And what my father will always say is, well, if you like a song, do you like to hear it more than once? And she just shakes her head and doesn't understand because she's a woman who loves her Wheel of Fortune and her Grey's Anatomy.
Now, see, you're mocking her.
No,
because you
I'm just saying
think
she's
that
different than
watching
him.
Wheel of Fortune
How
and
dare
Grey's
you.
Anatomy is somehow less. You said that in a dismissive tone, and I'm going to
It's
stand
not-
up for
it's not
Kathy
my
Spiewak
scene.
here,
It's not
Mr.
my
Man.
scene, Daddy-O. It's not what I like to really watch. But it's just funny to me that, you talk about how opposites attract. They truly are different. If you put them in two separate rooms with two separate televisions, there would be no overlap. There would be none. They don't watch the same stuff. But she's
Well, good
okay
for
with
them.
she's okay with the pinups, I think.
But the
He
drinking,
loves black and white movies.
That's it.
Anyway, I'm
the
that was
drinking
the
in
whole
Falls
the
Church.
whole
I
list that
I
had.
believe that it really dictates what Falls Church has to offer, and that crawls into Arlington. Falls Church is a town that's far enough to be annoyed by the $25 Uber ride into the city,
Right.
and also it has enough drinking holes that you can just say, okay, I'm going to go to Mad Fox Brewing and crush a bunch of IPAs. Or
Let me ask this.
Yes.
I want to get the geographical situation for our DC listeners right here,
Yes.
because you, when you're talking about Falls Church, how much of Falls Church is involved in that Ballston corridor? Is that Arlington or is that Falls
That's
Church?
That's
Arlington
Arlington.
and Ballston proper, but Falls Church is right outside. It's like it's basically
They got the
orbiting.
bars there, too,
it's
right?
orbiting, and they have such a concentration of great drinking spots. Why would you leave if you had to?
And more so
Yes.
recently. Yeah, what happened is when, after the war, Falls Church sort of became the place to move to because the suburb right
war.
outside World War II.
Okay.
The suburb right outside
I need this
of DC.
again. It's time to move there. Hey, Pa, we're going to move the Falls Church. There we go. Yeah,
But it
I'm
was,
sorry.
Arlington is the one that borders the District of Columbia.
What happened after Vietnam?
After Vietnam, apparently you were born and you came to this world to make my life a living hell.
World War I.
Sometimes I'll take Vietnam back if we can trade it and get rid of Oscar. But Falls Church is essentially one suburb away
Yes.
from the District of Columbia, and it was more residential until recently, and then the watering holes and the
Super
microbrews started.
expensive
Yes,
to live there now.
it
too.
is. It was. Yeah.
Ramo. Ramo. You magnificent bastard who moved to Falls Church. I'm sorry. I'm goofy.
Don't
I'm
be
goofy
sorry.
today.
It's the truth.
Yeah, I know. So, but here's this is the way I'm perceiving it.
Okay.
When I would go out, I know my band played down at like the Arlington Grill. I think I had a gig down at the Arlington
Okay.
Grill and the Clarendon Ballroom. There's another one.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, that's a
those
whole different
places.
animal.
Clarendon
That's
is
that's Arlington.
Arlington proper.
Clarendon
yeah.
was
So-
historically the shopping district of Arlington.
I
That's what
never
it was.
thought of Falls Church other than driving on a ride along with and watching Officer Meg take down license plates for Ping Nak Do. That's what I mean. That's
you can
what
walk
my
a
idea.
lot of places from Falls Church. You could walk to the. I mean, that's really one of the. If you're out of Clarendon and Arlington proper, as far as it's kind of a small metropolis outside of the city.
Sure.
Then
It's a small metropolis, Mike, like a giant shrimp.
well, no, it really is. I mean, it just doesn't have any towers, right?
Right.
They just
Okay,
have
but
any-
my point is, Oscar. So I never heard anybody say, "Hey, it's Saturday night. We're going to Falls Church to
Well,
party."
you would do that in lieu of coming into the city. There's a couple things at play here. One, if you want to come into the city, 66 is going to be a nightmare on Friday and Saturday night.
Right.
Two, you have to, what is really a 4 or 5 mile ride is going to take you at least 35 minutes.
Right.
So you have to account for either the drunk driving, your friend that's going to drunk drive, or the Uber ride you're going to get.
But I always thought going to party in that area was going to Arlington, not to Falls Church. You understand what I'm saying?
No. But again, I guess my point is this. If you take all that and say, I'm not coming to D.C., I'm not going to deal with the douchebaggery in Clarendon or Arlington, I'm just going to walk to my local pub.
Right.
They have the one thing about Virginia, and it's a great part about Virginia, is the commerce as far as restaurants and pubs and breweries. There's so many of them. And
So Falls Church has a concentration of these places.
Yes.
Think about when we performed at the
Sorry
State
for my
Theater.
ignorance. I just
No,
never
it
heard
does,
that. You
no
know.
problem.
When you're at the State Theater, it's essentially the intersection of Lee Highway and Route 7, two major
Yes.
roads, right?
That's Falls Church.
That is Falls Church right there. And if
Oh, I get it now. Now I get it. I know there are a lot of bars around there. I'm
Yeah.
not
Oh,
stupid.
Sure, we were walking distance from great restaurants, great places to drink,
breweries,
but also,
multiple breweries.
But here's the deal: if you go one block in from those highways, you're in residential areas.
Yeah.
That's what surprised me.
The houses
I
are
didn't
right
think
by the bars.
And even though it's the State Theater and all that, that main drag never struck me as super bar area. It's Arlington, one town over, that has the super bar area. So I'm confused as to why, of all places, Falls Church, which is very pricey, by the way, has everybody getting S-faced every night. I don't get it.
Dogfish Head there. Like I said, Mad Fox Brewing earlier. You can walk to all these places. It's phenomenal.
The ground zero alcoholic Oscar Santana.
You always got to have options,
exactly where these people
I
are.
wish tumbling distance.
Did you know they're opening a brewery right down the street here?
Where?
Right next to the like a block down from the subway.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, you and your other radio partner, I would love to get together and tip a few of those fabulous brews because that is my new thing.
Yeah.
I'll be talking about it in tomorrow's show a little bit. I want to talk about my new love of
craft
these
beers?
type of things. Yeah, and to be honest with you,
new beers from Craft.
Carla's buddy Suzanne is flying in tonight, for her weekend with us.
And that was postponed due to weather, right?
Yeah, she likes to tip a few, and so we're picking her up at like 5 o'clock and going right over to the ale house.
Nice.
And that was my suggestion. And Carla kind of gave me the hairy eyeball when I said it. She said, "Well, what do you want to do with Suzanne?" I said, "Well, she's getting in early enough, and we're very close to the airport. If we go over to the ale house."
It's good for what ails you.
And she looked at me and went, Yeah, it's my new kick. Taller the glass, the better. That's the way I'm looking at it. And that can be traced to Logan Airport, where I went to a place called the Brew House.
I remember this.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that on tomorrow's show.
Perfect.
I'm very, very excited. But it's still, Oscar, although they've got those little places you mentioned, you're mentioning individual bars, I never perceived Falls Church other than, it's got the main drag down there in Falls Church, and it's got our favorite Chinese restaurant in Falls Church.
Oh, it's a very multicultural city. There's a lot of stuff going on there.
But it's got a Home Depot, and it's got your little strip malls, but it doesn't, I just don't think that I ever perceived that particular, if someone was to ask you, what is the heaviest drinking suburb of Washington, D.C., you would probably
I would say Clarendon.
Arlington, or Bethesda,
but
those places.
If the study is really breaking down neighborhoods and people that live in the neighborhood, that drink in the neighborhood, or people that live in the neighborhood and drink there, not a lot of people can afford to live in Clarendon or Arlington.
And also,
most of the people work there, and they just go to the bars right after at happy hour right down the street.
And
right?
Clarendon is not as much of a place where you live; it's a place where you go.
Yeah. You black out, make some bad.
I remember when I had the heyday of the Mike O'Mara restaurant, when O'Mara's Pub was doing. All right, go ahead.
I have to find it.
I don't want to even
do you
start.
remember when someone said
finger.
we're going to open the hottest bar in Virginia, and we're going to open it in Manassas?
Yep. And
if you own a failing restaurant, contact us at foodnetwork.com.
I had no idea you were going to go there. So
and you said Manassas.
There's not going to be any business once the girls go away. Once the girls go away, and once the ladies leave, you're not going to have anyone.
No,
we will.
There is
popular.
a factor that we're not addressing here. Oscar touched on it briefly. They're also crediting it to the fact that it's largely educated and affluent people that can afford to have a glass of wine every
Well, I was going to say to you guys that when I had my joint in like the second year, there were people coming from Arlington to go to my bar on a regular basis. That's how hot my bar was.
Mike O'Mara. Let's go to Mike O'Mara's
Oh,
restaurant.
it had nothing to do with me. Absolutely. I might have been able to publicize it, but I will tell you this, that we had you guys were in it on certain of those nights when it was absolute balls to the wall.
Had to walk sideways.
Incredible nights. And then, of course, like all good things, it came to an end. But Arlington was the ground zero for that. I wanted to say that my theory on the whole drinking in Falls Church, I think it's more symptomatic of the entire D.C. area.
I'm sure it's very representative. Yeah.
When I'm back there, and one of the reasons it's really not one of the reasons I left, but the fact is the competitive commuting environment of D.C. people really crawling all over each other to get the brass ring, to get the granite countertop. I've always said this. I think people partied their ass off because they're coping with the stress no matter what they're doing for a living. everybody out there is feeling pressure. It's an expensive place to live.
It is.
True.
There are a lot of people that drive a long way to get to where they have to work. That causes stress. The traffic is next to Los Angeles, the worst in the nation.
Abysmal.
And I think what that results in is people pounding. I mean, like crazy. Look at the,
However, it should be said that even though the most people percentage-wise drink in Falls Church, let's tip our hats, Mike, to a couple other places in America. Menominee County in Wisconsin leads the country in binge drinking.
Well, it's cold.
Is that near
somehow?
Is that Mad City? Is that near Madison, where the university is? Because it might have something to do with that.
It would probably be a good factor. And also,
binge drinking, something started during my college years.
The country's heaviest drinkers live in Esmeralda, Nevada.
Ooh.
That'd be a suburb of Las Vegas. I would assume, maybe.
I would think that would be where dreams go to die. It would be Esmeralda, Nevada.
No, I don't think that's the case. You get a lot of free drinks too.
Yeah, you do. The nickel slots.
What else? Are there any more on there?
That's the only ones they list right now. Yeah.
Esmeralda,
Nevada, Menominee,
I live in a
Wisconsin.
I live in a town named after a witch.
Hey, give me a drink.
Yeah, that's all I know is that come Thursday night, maybe even like Tuesday, Wednesday night. How's that chest?
You know what? It's great, Mike. I think I'm going to binge drink tonight, but it's something called tussin.
Yeah. How is your chest? Just
actually the pneumonia.
It's gorgeous as usual.
Well, it's probably a full C. The pneumonia is gone. I still have a cough, and I think it's complicated by allergies. And there's some residents hanging around in the lungs that still need to evacuate.
And you guys are enjoying the beautiful weather up there, right?
Oh, it's the best time of year where your whole body can feel hot just because of the pollen.
It's all relative. A quick thank you to Mr. Michael Mayer, who was kind enough to write me yesterday. Actually, you texted me and then I called you, right?
Yeah. I texted you.
This is the family we're talking about.
All right.
Mike writes me. He knew that I was working on a paper, and I took a quick break and called him, and he just wanted to check in. It was
nice.
It was so very kind. You asked Rob how he's feeling, and then I called you. You wrote me. I was like, "This is nice."
Yeah. I wrote
family.
Studying ? Question mark, just to make sure, because let's take a break and then we'll come back and we'll find out how you're doing, because I was like I am with Rob's pneumonia and with Oscar's burned out schedule. I'm worried about Oscar and I worry about Rob. Do not worry about Rofo or Pony. Good. Really rarely occupies my brain.
Just keep drinking, Rob.
Right. And just for the record, I don't really worry about other people who've been on the show. We'll take a break, and I'm not talking about the guys we used to work with regularly. I'm talking about anybody that's ever been on the show. Once you go away, I don't think about it.
Dead to you is the phrase.
So a lot of people might relate to that.
I
probably.
understand. Yeah.
But just got to tell it the way it is. Sorry. We'll take a break and come back with the Mike O'Mara Show.
This week on the Mike O'Mara Bonus Show.
Carlos sets the table like 3 days in advance. She says, well, I'm particularly feeling this premenstrual tension right now, and I'm looking forward to the one day because I'm just going to pick Thursday is going to be my day where I'm going to eat whatever I want. So she orders pizza from a new place, and I had one slice.
Is it from that new pizza place, Mike, that's called Menstruoni's?
Man, that's a good sauce.
Oh, God.
Jesus. That's fantastic.
We're only open 4 days a month.
Please stop by Menstroni's, the best pie you've ever enjoyed. The secret is in the yeast. But anyway.
The Mike O'Mara Bonus Show. Because 5 hours a week just ain't enough. Always available at MikeO'MaraShow.com.
What a bunch of pigs. That is really gross. Nasty. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. Hey, everybody. Mother's Day is May 10th. Let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
Listen, pull the... Take the buds, the earbuds, and press them in a little bit.
Yeah, listen hard.
Do you love your mother? Do you?
Yes.
I don't. Look, okay. I know you've tortured your mother. I mean, all of us have had our moments with Mom. I know. I talked yesterday about the fact that I drove my satellite into the mud, and I wasn't supposed to take the shortcut up to see Joey Paster, but I did. And then there was the time when I really, really threw a tantrum because the Red Sox game got rained out, and I was just so beside myself. I think I was like 12 or 13, and I used to take it personally. Nothing's changed, people.
No.
But my mom had to live through that. The poor woman was sitting there with her son, going through this meltdown because there was a rainout. Okay, and Mike somehow thought God was taking it out on him, and she just sat there and suffered. All those years, my God, my mother suffered. Mom, I'm so sorry.
How can you make it good, Mike? How can you make it good?
I'm going to send her Pro Flowers.
Nice.
She deserves the best. Pro Flowers makes it easy with just the click of a mouse. If you tortured your mother like I did during your formative years, just for our listeners, you can now dazzle your mamo with 100 blooms and a free glass vase for just $19.99 from Pro Flowers. Or you can impress her by adding chocolates and an upgraded premium vase for just $9.99 more. When I send my mom the added chocolates, it's great because she goes door to door and gives them to everybody in the home.
Of course she
Just
does.
go to proflowers.com and use the code TMOS. ProFlowers has an easy-to-use website that makes Mother's Day shopping simple and quick. They have all you need for all the moms in your life in one place. Order now, schedule delivery, and you're done. You don't have to think about it. Do it now because you're going to forget. If you don't do it right now, you're going to forget. Here's what I want you to do. The only way to get 100 blooms and a free vase, $19.99. Go to proflowers.com, click the blue microphone in the top right-hand corner, and type in TMOS. That's proflowers.com. Click the mic and TMOS. Order now. This deal expires Friday at midnight. The very nice people at ProFlowers sent along some blooms for my lady.
Pretty.
And I will tell you, down here it's amazing. She trims them all up really, really short.
Nice.
And she puts them in these tiny little vases all over the house. And really, our house, because of Pro Flowers, 100 blooms will fill your house with flowers.
Wow, look at that. Magnificent.
Done and done.
Anyway, all right, so what the hell was I going to talk about? I lost my place in the show. I forgot what I was talking about.
You're going to talk to Oscar.
Okay, talk to Oscar about how he's feeling.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I was worried about Oscar yesterday during the show. Oscar is not going to kill you with with emotion and outbursts and real big highs. He doesn't do that, but he gets intense.
He does.
But sometimes I look at him, and he came in yesterday before the show,
Cheers.
and he was kind of in that brood. You know how he gets in that brooding way, Rob? You're
He
up
does.
there. I'm down
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
I just see him on the camera.
You know what? Over the camera, I think it looks like it's brooding. In the studio, it's sort of cold steel sexy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it doesn't really
Thank you.
convey. Because what it is, he kind of struts in.
To
and
clear that up.
Yeah, he does sort of like a Derek Zoolander
Yeah,
thing.
I was like, look, I'm not turning left.
Oh, by the
I'm
way,
turning right today.
regarding the Falls Church discussion of drinking,
Yes.
Rofo, thanks for all the insight. Anyway,
absolutely.
getting back to
A lot of divorcees, let me tell you.
it's okay. Getting back to Oscar. So
That
I
didn't
called
make
Oscar
sense.
last night. I know.
I know.
I'm not going there. I'm
No,
moving
why
forward.
bother?
It's an Irish
I'm
bar.
moving
bother?
forward onto a professional broadcaster.
Right
All right.
on.
So I call Oscar last night just to really see how he's doing and to see how, are you okay? Because yesterday was, and there have been a few days during this whole graduate school thing that you're going through. But yesterday was one where, where I perceived that your boy was tired. You were looking a little
and I got a great night's
draggy.
sleep, which was the strange part about. I think it's the stress levels. That's what drives that can really get me down. I can deal with lack of sleep. I can deal with, workload.
Yeah.
But when
the stress is a constant weight.
There's just a lot going on this week outside of just general class. We have a final on Saturday that's really important to me, and preparing for that.
Isn't it homecoming too?
It's not. It's not necessarily just homecoming, but you're in a space where we're wrapping up the initial first semester, and most people get off for summer. But since I'm in an accelerated program, you mow on through your next course.
So
right?
really, your first semester is completing this weekend?
Yeah, the last final, yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, that seems
So-
fast, doesn't it?
Well, when you're going to class for 5 hours.
Yeah, I suppose.
10
And let me
hours a
ask you
day.
this, and I know we all work hard, we all do things
Yes.
outside of the show, but you do have favorable hours for doing this. I want to ask you about the people that are in your class. You talked about you had a couple of washouts already, a couple of guys that couldn't cut it, and a lot of these guys are slaying that dragon in the corporate world, like
they've
in
got
a kind of
job.
9-to-5 deal,
They got
right?
a 9-to-5 job.
And how are they handling? I mean,
how do
do
they
you
look
see it
when
all?
they
it-
stroll into class?
This is what I remind myself when I'm bitching and moaning, just not that I do it to you guys, but to myself about
You better not, Mr. Scholarship
the
winner.
lack of time.
And you were poking the bear yesterday. You were calling him just to see if you could get him to bitch and moan, and then you would tell him to shut up.
No, probably would have. I would have probably pretended that I was concerned and then
Is
said
that,
a pleasant good night.
People have to. You have to juggle your family. You have to juggle. A lot of people have kids in my
Sure.
cohort. A lot of people will have jobs that take them overseas.
Mike, a lot of people have kids in his cohort.
during the week that they. during the week that they are off of class, they have to go overseas.
Do you sometimes want to hit him when he does
that?
Okay.
When I'm signing his checks one day and he's hoping that I give him a raise, I don't know why. I remember all of this.
Hey, Mike, I'm proud to be a part of his cohort.
Yes.
Whatever that means.
So the reality behind it is that I don't have it any better or any worse than anyone else. We all have our responsibilities. And I believe that running a business takes up your life 24/7 because you're always thinking about it. But I also believe that I'm fortunate enough at this moment not to worry about did I spend enough time with my kids right now. And there's a lot of people that have to deal with that.
Good space for it. Now, question for you: when it started, and I remember the first week, 10 days you were doing it, you really did have a deer in the headlights look.
Yeah,
you were very overwhelmed. And you kept telling yourself, and you told us that you were going to find your groove, and it wasn't going to be like you have hit your stride.
Yes.
So compare it now to how it was when you first started. How many weeks ago was that? Like 15 weeks ago?
I would almost 3 months. So
okay, so roughly, yeah.
roughly.
Right.
Maybe 3.5 months. But regardless, what the feeling is this, and for anybody that is ever thinking of going through this, is it's just like if you ever. And the best way I can explain it is if you haven't ran for years,
right.
I mean. And you said, I'm going to go run a mile, and you realize that a mile felt like 20, you have to build up the muscle, your brain.
Right.
You have to build up what was, fatigue and no muscle mass into some sort of working organism where you can say, I built a tolerance. I know what to expect now, and now I just got to knock it out.
School thinking is different, and doing schoolwork is different than real life. And when you go to college, you've already got 12 years of prep for it.
Yes.
And then, you do 4 more, and in some cases more, but you took the time off.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm hearing all this, and
it
may, for whatever reason, it's making me a little sad. And
no,
because you're working. Well, let me just give you a pep. Can I give you a pep talk, please?
Sure.
Okay.
All right, listen up.
You is smart. You is important.
Repeat it, Oscar, please.
You is smart. You is kind.
I can't even repeat it.
You is important.
Thank you very much.
Repeating
Let's go
is
bake a
next
pie.
semester.
Let's go bake a pie. Guys, you know what really dragged me down? And it wasn't necessarily just the workload.
Huh.
It was this effing story out of Baltimore. Like
it's tough.
Yeah, you and I were both pretty deeply affected by that.
I mentioned this briefly, I think, on Big O and Dukes. I'll mention it here. I didn't mention it here, but I'll mention it here. There are so many great organizations in the city of Baltimore that are for the people that serve that city respectfully and with dignity.
Now, you're talking about the cops
honor.
and the firefighters
yes,
and that?
Yes.
Okay.
And there are so many great organizations that try to help the inner city, the less fortunate. And what I didn't put together is I have donated to both those organizations.
Right.
I have donated because, one, I was led to the inner city organization through our friend Dominique Foxworth, who had a foundation that
former Raven
that worked in the inner cities of Baltimore. And when we worked in Baltimore, we worked with the former police chief, and we worked with charities there. Right. So if you can't get out and volunteer and become a big brother in any city you are in America, you can put some shekels into those organizations that are trying to change the status quo. That's what I want.
And I will tell you this, that I feel after the initial night when I was so devastated by that, and I felt
it's a good word for it, Mike. I think we were all devastated.
Everybody felt that because it's close to home for us, and we were looking at that, and you just feel sad. It really sad. But I have been pretty damn proud of the way they immediately were able to get their act together and turn it around there. And with that said, and I put this in the show prep today, CNN, back off the story now when there's no story. I am really, really getting fed up.
I stopped watching. I couldn't
with
do it
the
anymore.
cable news network when they're so, excuse you're going to have to bleep me here.
That's fine.
They are so fucking lazy that they dig in with their TV trucks, and it becomes, this is what we're going to do now. They did it with the Malaysian flight. They're doing it with these type of things. Stop it.
Yeah.
You know, when you have, if you have 3 nights, for example, tonight.
Right.
I hope if with tonight, if it backs off and it's another night where there's nothing happening, Get the hell out of that town and go back to doing what you're doing. Leave these people alone. That's what I'm saying. They hover and they wait. Is something going to happen? Is something going to happen? There's no solution in this news coverage a lot of times. You know what I mean? Nobody's really making that up. They're pontificating and they're doing all this crap up there.
I mean, obviously the big story and the stuff that required coverage was Monday night when everything was really at its apex. Then Tuesday when the curfew came at 10 p.m., I understand having trucks out and seeing what's going to happen on the first night of the curfew. But last night, if there was nothing going on, which there wasn't, why are they covering it? How about you can have people there in case something happens?
How about flipping over to Nepal where people need help over there and what you can do to help it? How about really starting? But they don't. They don't. Boy, they'd love you to think that they're these wonderful people that do these great things. But you know what? More and more, I'm truly disillusioned by 24-hour news coverage because it's just
had to tune out. I was like, "You're a bunch of hacks. You're depressing me."
Absolutely,
that's not the city I know.
I did
their ass together. Time to roll out.
You know what an addict I am with that stuff. I did tune out last night, and to a lesser extent, I probably understand why they did it. But to me, kind of a diva drama move.
Well, it's irresponsible.
With the whole ball game with the empty stadium. I don't know why, but that kind of pissed me off too. It's just like, look what this has done.
This is
I don't know.
Huge gesture, and but it's irresponsible, and it reinforces the thought that something negative is about to happen.
Right.
When it didn't. Did you see the guy chasing Geraldo around?
No, I didn't see that.
There was a guy, and you can, and I didn't pull it for the audio vault because it's very.
That's on that network, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah. It's on that network.
Thank you.
But the audio is not that great. But I mean, the quality of it. But he's chasing essentially Geraldo in circles. This didn't air, but it was captured by the cameras, saying that. Why are you coming here? Why don't you cover the good parts of our city? Why don't you do something to help our city? What you're doing is you're showing these riots. You're showing the negativity. And it just led me to believe, I said, you know what, again, this is a city where the people love their city. And if the longer that they stow and extend this negative story, the worse it is for that city. And all they need to do is get out now. Let it heal.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
And for those people that want to help, there are places to help. Once everything's settled, when the dust settles, really, there are wonderful organizations that go out and mentor individuals in that neighborhood. They do that. They take them to museums. They have classes. They buy computers. And to be fair to the people in those neighborhoods that weren't rioting, the people that live in that neighborhood and are subjected to that type of life and really a helplessness. Mike was kind enough to send me an article about the psychology in those neighborhoods.
Yeah, you took a little heat online about level playing field, and I sent that to you just to show the level of it. I think sometimes it's important to get that.
I guess, in my eyes, for I guess, and I can't speak for anybody else, that I have seen like extreme levels of poverty in Latin America. I have seen, for example, my grandmother, when I first met her as a young man, didn't have electricity going to her home. That's the type of life, that's the type of town she lived in.
Wow. Right.
It just was what it was, right?
Right.
And when they got electricity, it was a big deal. And we're talking about the 80s. So
I think, Oscar, what the biggest difference for me is in that area, I'm not sure that in those communities you're talking about, people can take a 10-minute walk and see a Bentley parked on the sidewalk. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or a Mercedes. You understand what I'm talking about?
It's tough. And also, you need some sort of guidance. And on my end, I can't paint with a broad brush, but I also can say that, if I truly believe in what I talked about, and I do, I have to put my money where my mouth is, or my time where my mouth is, right?
Yeah.
So
you mean you lift people up in the areas
if I can't
like
put
that.
in the time, I know what charities work in that area. I remember and I looked them up, and they're still there, and they're doing what they can. They're doing some
And I think
good.
it's important to point out, just like you have the people that were a minority that rioted in these communities, and the overwhelming number of people are good people that don't get involved in this kind of crap. I mean, look what the older people did on after Monday night. The way they got everybody together with the pastors and the community leaders.
My mom,
they did a great job.
Took a page out of this when she called me yesterday morning before the show, and she said she was basically in tears, and she said, the woman that was beating her son to pull him out of the riots reminded me of me. And I said, well, way to make it all about you.
They've now made the news cycle. They've been making the rounds doing interviews together. Did you see any
networks,
of that?
All the networks now,
That's crazy.
But again, to be fair, my mom would have probably done that.
Sure.
Like
and it's good. I
just
where you and I and we're not far apart on this,
No.
and I think you represented the way a lot of people do feel, and and it was a reasoned approach. It wasn't over the top. The people I really had the problem with were the people saying, let's give the police some more weapons, and let's blow people away, blow a few people away, see a few heads explode. That'll take care. That's so short-sighted and misguided and wrong, and comes from a very bad place and all that. And I think that it's just everybody's got to understand each other.
Yeah.
I've said that all along.
So,
empathy.
So all
please.
of that drama just was, and on top of what the workload I currently have with school and in this business, just beat me down. And that's, I think, I was in a bad space. I got that message from my mom, and God bless my mom. She's 400 days long. Like, Mom, you're a great woman. You might have beat me just a few too many times. I'm going to give you a pass. But I got what that lady was doing for her son, trying to save his life, basically. And, everybody processes it in certain ways. And I think she put me in a bad space. But I really believe that if you want to affect change, whether it's in Baltimore or any other neighborhood in your country, whether it's for the underprivileged or if you want to help out your local police department or fire department, you have to either put in the time or put some of that money that you might have spent on a Saturday night aside and said, this is what I'm going to do this weekend.
Mm-hmm. And I know for a fact, because I've done it, that when you do that, it's my mom said it, and I got a good mom too, and she said to me, you give and you get so much more back, and it's a cliche, but it is such a true cliche. The fact is, you do, and my only concern is to do more of it. We were talking about it as early as yesterday, and you're absolutely right. You do that, and here's the reward. Not only are you helping other people, but you get such a benefit out of it. Somebody was online, made a comment about one of my threads and one of my Facebook posts, and said, Mike O'Mara has all these ideals but no solutions. No, my solution is understand each other. I consider that a solution. Yeah. I consider an ability to understand the circumstances of other people, be it the police, be it the fire department, be it the people in the middle of these neighborhoods, be it somebody who looks different or comes from a different cultural background than you. Understanding them is a solution.
Mike, it's the ultimate. It's the ultimate solution.
Yeah, and
it really is. That would solve everything.
And then getting on the ground and doing something about it. That's it. And I think maybe listening to Oscar say that, I think I was affected the same way too. Put me in kind of a funk this week, and it just
sad.
Let's just. I always look at something like this as maybe this wakes people up. They're having protests in cities all over America.
Hopefully,
that will do more of that. Support the people that matter, and support everybody, and just try to effect change by understanding people first, and then moving on to I agree with that. Put your money or your time where your mouth is about this. And for all you people that want to bitch online about the others or them, whoever they may be, try to understand them more, and then maybe go a step further, like Oscar said, and do something. Yeah. Get in a car, drive down to a soup kitchen, write a check to a police organization that helps fallen officers. Do that. You'll feel better about it. All that stuff, and you can do it. Do the same thing in one day for both. Both sides of the issue. We'll take a break, and when we come back, I'm going to talk about Game of Thrones. And I love it, but I hate it at the same time. We'll talk about that right next on the Mike O'Mara Show.
Next.
What is this?
I believe this is Jason Derulo. And it's called Want to Want Me. It's number 5 this week.
Look at you.
Yeah.
So proud of you.
I like this guy.
Look at my friend.
He's a guy that works his name into almost all his records.
It's 2015.
Yay!
He's playing 2015.
That's awesome.
Yes.
I love it.
Don't worry.
Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show.
Mike, hey, Quiet Riot coming up.
Fantastic.
I promise.
Kind of a tribute to all the action going on in Baltimore this week.
Mike,
Quiet Riot, get it?
What we're doing is we're providing a laugh riot.
Yeah, laugh riot, baby. Thank you. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. I talk about Sleep Number all the time.
Yes.
I am not making this up. Last night, Mrs. O'Mara and I decided to watch one of the pillars of our culture, Survivor, on the TV
Is that
in the
still
BR.
on?
Yeah, we TiVo it and then we watch it. And
Wow.
and she said, "Come to bed and watch it." I said, and I remember looking over at her and said, "We've got our dual layer technology and we've got our lovely little pedestals here where we've got the my bed moves up and down and yours moves up and down. How come you like yours flat and I have to sit up with mine?" And she didn't answer me, and so I just adjusted it perfectly, lifted the back up, lifted the feet up, and then we put some new bedding on yesterday afternoon. Those fresh sheets that smell so nice, and I was just I'll tell you, if my Sleep Number bed was a lady, I would have promised it a fine dinner out this weekend.
Can you lift your feet so high that you don't have to watch Survivor?
Almost. Not quite. My Sleep Number setting is an 85. Carlos is a 65. Sleep Number beds also have Sleep IQ technology. My Sleep Number grade last night, a 93 again.
Hey,
I
look
slept
at
like
you.
a piece of granite. 11 o'clock at night all the way till 6:40 this morning when the baby woke me up. Sleep Number and Sleep IQ tracks your sleep by using the dual layer technology inside the bed, and Sleep IQ tells you exactly how to adjust for the best sleep of your life. Nothing to wear, nothing to turn on. Remember that Sleep Number setting for me again is an 85. Carlos is a 65. And last night, a 93 was my Sleep IQ score.
A, Mike. That's an A on any report card.
Come in right now and save from $300 to $800 on a Sleep Number bed with Sleep IQ. No better sleep. Find your Sleep Number setting today only at any of the 450 Sleep Number stores nationwide. You can find one near you by calling 800-511-0061. That number, write it down, 800-511-0061. And don't forget to whistle at them and say, Mike O'Mara sent you. So, speaking of sleep, my routine for watching Game of Thrones is I have to watch it usually in 3 consecutive nights, because I can't go more than probably 17, 18 minutes without falling asleep.
I was going to say 3 19-minute hunks of Game of Thrones.
Yeah. I'll tell you how it was. Last night, after Carla went to sleep, after we watched Survivor on the TiVo, I went back to my my Game of Thrones. I said, well, I'll finish watching it. And you know how you hit that icon like on the DirecTV box and it says resume?
Yes.
And I hit resume, and it was the credits. I was so sleepy when I watched it, I had forgotten that I saw the end of it.
What about there was an Apex moment? You fell asleep during that?
I know you'll probably have to remind me. I've watched it all, but you'd have to probably tell me what the Apex moment was.
Jon Snow cut someone's head off. Spoiler alert.
Oh yeah. He the guy.
Spoiler alert.
So John. If Oscar reminds me, Jon Snow is head of the Night's Guard, the Night's Watch, and the one guy didn't think he was worth it, and so Jon Snow says, "I'm going to send you to the hinterlands to guard the North Pole place."
Gave him an order, he disobeyed.
And he said, "I will never do that and respect your damn order." And then he drags him out. He said, "Well, if you will not respect the order, I have to maintain discipline. And bring me my sword." So he brings him out, and the guy's still at this point.
For mercy.
Yeah, he has, and it's too late because he's got to assert his authority and off with his head.
Respect
and
my
really,
authority.
one of your pretty significant beheadings.
Oh yeah,
too,
nice and clean.
Now, is Jon Snow? I can only go by his name. Is he the Game of Thrones disc jockey? Does he do afternoons? Is it Jon?
Hey everybody,
Snow?
it's Jon Snow. How you doing?
Do you have the music?
I'm sure I can find it.
Mike, if you could do Jon Snow or a character from Game of Thrones talking up records, I would S myself in this.
Well,
studio.
I can do. I mean, it's basically doing the British accent. I mean, that's what it is.
Do you want to?
Hello,
will your name be Jon Snow?
This is the Jon Snow episode. The best Oscar, best accent on that show is the creepy guy that was sending the princess
Littlefinger?
to the bad guy.
Littlefinger.
The guy that pushed his wife down the well?
Yeah, Littlefinger.
That's
Can you
that's
do
the
him?
best. That's the best accent at all.
Okay, you
That's
ready?
the one that's got kind of the Scottish thing.
Yes!
It's got
Yes!
that going.
All right,
like
I
So
guess
you're
my-
Littlefinger.
This will be, I guess, KGOT. Game of Thrones, and that would be because they're west of the Mississippi. Okay, and let's see. I think we'll start with Tony Orlando and Dawn, Mike.
Greetings, everyone. This is Littlefinger. I'm taking the princess to the really bad guy's castle, and that's where she's going to marry him, but she doesn't know because I'm a dirty liar.
I'm coming home,
What's the name of that princess? What's the name of the princess? Do you know?
I'll find it for you.
Because there's the princess. And what's Peter Dinklage's character? What is? All right. Oh, okay. Give me another one.
All right, here we go. Ready?
All right.
Listen.
Oh, okay.
And learn and listen. The facts are fun on WWDC.
Well, I hope you're having a good weekend. The House of Lannister would like to send you and yours a big greeting and hope you get outside in this sunshine.
That's a crappy record to talk up, Rob.
Okay.
Give me a better one.
Sansa Stark.
Sansa Stark,
got
the princess?
Sansa Stark, yes.
And who's she going to marry? Do we know who she's going to marry?
Oh, Jesus, I got to find that.
Oh, I'll do another one.
All right,
Here we go.
Ready?
No
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Oscar.
Peter Baelish is Littlefinger.
Okay, Peter Baelish.
All right.
60s on 6.
Peter Baelish get together on a Friday. Yes, sirree. House of Lannister in the house. How about that? Here's Orleans for everybody from Winterfell on Game of Thrones 101. Yeah.
Oh, there's some boners out there right now. I know that for sure. Yes.
So
all right.
Tyrion Lannister is
Peter Dinklage. Okay, let's all do Tyrion Lannister.
Okay,
all right?
here we go.
WDRC in Hartford, where the fun is.
Tyrion Lannister with you. I wish that I could say something positive, but I don't want to. I want to sit in this little hut, and I want to drink myself to vomiting, because you have to drive across all of the lands with the bald guy, Game of Thrones. Now I'm getting ramped up for it here.
God.
Should have. We buried the lead today. All right, I'll do one more.
One more? Okay, hold on one second.
I will do the Hand of the King.
Okay.
Who was Father Papa Lannister, and that's what his name will be, Papa Lannister. He was shot with a.
Yeah, you got it.
He was shot with a crossbow at the
All
end
right,
of last
here we
season.
All hits all summer long on WAVA.
This is the Hand of the King, Papa Lannister show. I'm sitting here in my DJ studio. Oh, look, my little dwarfen son has come in here. Oh, that hurt!
Nice.
Oh, God.
I'm
All
not
right,
really sure. It's just the luck of the draw that this Game of Thrones station only plays like easy listening oldies.
All right. I'm trying to think if there are any other guys that are there oh, yes, we have to mention Khaleesi.
Nice.
Of course.
All right.
Okay. Ready?
All right. Hold on.
Much more music.
Well, how are you? Hello, Khaleesi. Yes, the Queen of Dragons. She's coming down the street with all the slaves and the masters. What a fabulous afternoon it is. You're listening to Game of Thrones radio. One of the big dragons escaped from its dungeon. Oh, no, he's going to bring fire on Winterfell. Game of Thrones.
There is nothing that is wrong. Wanting you to stay here.
I have retained enough to know that, but
as Mike Beach once said, you really don't need to know a lot to be a disc jockey.
Do you have any Billy Idol by any chance?
I can find some Billy Idol for you. I'll just
like
need
perhaps White Wedding?
Yes,
Do you have that one? Because we're going to change the color. We're going to change the color.
Okay,
on
give
that,
me one moment. That's all I need.
And it's a big promotion coming up for Game of Thrones radio. They're having everybody from all the lands come to a big wedding festival. And then we'll let you know. If you're listening, coming up in the next 2 minutes, you'll know what the big secret is about the white wedding.
You got to stay by your phones, don't you?
Yeah, stay by your phones, because if you know this secret, I'll tell you, you're going to come out way ahead, all right?
Are you ready?
Don't they send a raven? Is that what they send?
Yes, all right.
Sticker patrol on the wagon.
The Raven.
Mike, it's
the
Nick Raven.
Patrol.
Is what
Right,
it
Nick
is.
Raven.
Nick Raven. All right, here we go.
105 WAVA.
Hi, everybody. It's Nick Raven, Game of Thrones radio. By now, if you're listening to my voice, you've probably received your Raven inviting you to a fabulous white wedding. We're going to grab people from all the various kingdoms. They'll be riding in by horseback, the princesses, the kings, the queens, the Knights Guard. Everybody will be joining us for a fabulous white wedding. But here's the trick. Even if you receive the Raven, you don't know it's not a white wedding, it's a red wedding, and you're all going to die.
I bow down to you,
Great
singer.
radio prank.
That's it. So I think you can probably tell that I've watched enough of it to to retain that
You're
and be able to
plugged
do
in.
that. But I do watch it usually in 3 installments.
Why
and I
does
wish I could
Why does it make you sleepy? Is it the pacing?
Probably the same reason that I fell asleep during Shakespeare class when I was in high school.
Ah.
I love the language. I enjoy the dialect. But it just gets so tedious for me, especially when Peter Dinklage is talking to the bald guy in the little wooden
they're in the
cart that
wagon?
he's going to. Yeah, and on his way over there.
Yeah.
And he's going to see Khaleesi, right? Isn't that who he's going to see?
You don't know yet.
You don't know who he's going to
it's full
see?
of mystery.
All right,
And
fantastic.
speaking of Khaleesi, there is a viral video that will make you want to kill yourself. Last night on the Jimmy Fallon show, the ultra cute Jimmy Fallon interviewed the ultra cute Kristen Wiig in character as Khaleesi.
Oh, I like this.
And
a
they
lot.
made themselves laugh so hard, Mike. It was
God.
really, really. Watch it and get diabetes. It's wonderful.
Oh man! Oh, incidentally, it's funny you mention Kristen Wiig because she will be the lead story in my news you may not need today.
Really?
And I will be hipping people to this. It's very, very scary. You'll love it. Oh, if you like Kristen Wiig, you're going to want to hear about this. We'll take a break. Come back with more. This is the Mike O'Mara Show.
It's Tony and Gary.
Hi, I'm Tony Perkins.
I'm Mike Tyson.
On this week's episode of the show, we talk boxing with Mickey Ward, famous boxer, the movie The Fighter, and we also talk about the movie Blackula.
That's right. We get into a lot of trouble.
Quite a team. Be sure to follow The Tony Perkins Show and subscribe on iTunes.
The Tony Perkins Show.
Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. Listen up, small business owners. I've had my cards from Vistaprint for years, and it is still probably my favorite way to promote my business. I just love meeting new people, and at the end of the conversation when somebody's like, you do what?
Exactly.
It's on where? It's not on what?
Yep.
So you're a radio? I said, yeah. What? I said, here, just take the card.
That's it.
It says listen and you'll get it with my website. That's how you check it out. And I do it constantly. Vistaprint.com has this great offer. We've been telling you about it all week. 500 business cards for just $9.99. All you have to do is enter the promo code TMOS at checkout. That's $9.99 for 500 business cards. Are you listening to me? Are you listening to me?
Listen to this man, please.
Listen to
It's never been easier or more affordable to make a business card that screams you, and Vistaprint makes it fun and easy. You can pick from tons of cool industry-specific designs, add your info, and you're on your way, or you can even upload your own artwork or pictures. We've all made cards at Vistaprint.com, and they always turn out great. Vistaprint is the best. 500 business cards on sale for $9.99, and there's never been a better time to professionally promote your business. Don't forget the code. Visit Vistaprint.com and use TMOS to get this offer, and we thank you. And now, without further ado, I was doing all the different stuff on the show today, and I have to go back here and hit this, and then I hit this. Thank you.
News. Nice.
Boo. Sometimes I really feel like I'm landing a small Cessna in a crosswind, but it's always fun. Kristen Wiig, I told you about this before the break. Get ready, boys. She goes full frontal in the middle of a casino in her new movie, Welcome to Me. I have already seen the photos. Have you seen the photos?
I have not.
Wow.
Now, I am not sure whether, speaking of Game of Thrones is known to use
Body doubles.
well, wigs.
Makeup? Yeah.
Down there. You know what I mean? The Merkin Man, do you know
So,
the Merkin Man?
She would be really living up to her name then.
Yeah. So my only question when I saw some of these pictures is real or not real?
Huh.
So you'll have to see. Kristen plays a woman who wins the lottery, goes off her psychiatric meds, and buys her own talk show. It also stars James Marsden, Timothy Robbins, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Wes Bentley, and Joan Cusack. Okay, that's a bit of a weird-a-thon
Nice
cast
recipe,
right
though.
there. Yeah,
Anything's possible.
Okay. I saw a clip from it. It didn't make me want to turn the television off.
Oh, the one they played.
Yeah,
yesterday.
it's not her normal crap, right? I mean, it's kind of different stuff.
Yeah,
for
it
her,
is
correct?
different. And I do think she is very talented. I really
she's
do.
talented.
The premise of someone winning the lottery and then launching their own talk show, that's probably something that's happened or tried, or somebody has probably taken a shot at it, right?
Somebody pitches me with that idea, and I'm a movie executive. I'm making that movie. It sounds fascinating. So, but if you pervs out there just want to see Kristen Wiig naked, you're going to get a chance to do it.
Have you found a picture yet, Oscar, of Kristen's wig?
I did full frontal Kristen Wiig, and I got a lot of full frontal of the wrong kind, if you know what I mean.
Oh, dear. Yeah. Now that her relationship with Patrick Schwarzenegger has fizzled out, Miley Cyrus might be nailing her ex-fiancé. I didn't even know he was an ex-fiancé, Liam Hemsworth.
Oh, yeah, they dated for a long time, so it makes sense.
I don't put her with him. I guess I missed that part where they were
Hi, Liam, I
fiancé.
have needs.
A source says, quote, they've been hanging out in L.A., but only a few people know. Well, now everybody knows. Dating could definitely happen. Miley and Liam broke up in September of 2013, but they kept in touch here and there. And I'd just like to say to Liam Hemsworth,
Oh, my.
you can do better. Or are we looking at Kristen
Yeah,
Wiig?
we just got her.
Yeah.
There you go.
The Miley Cyrus.
Kristen's wig.
Rob Ford, not especially helpful during the Falls Church statement.
Right.
But when you need a naked picture of Kristen Wiig, he's right on top of it.
Is he not Logie today? He's just working slow today.
He is,
And that's what it is. Yes, Oscar, you were going to say about
they broke up. I remember the initial breakup. It started happening when she cut her hair and she'd launched her new album. He was like, this is not for me, right?
Yeah, when she reinvented herself.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then she dated Schwarzenegger's son.
Right.
And now I guess they're back together. That's wild.
Guess he likes
It's
the haircut
interesting.
now.
This is a big one. The reason I put it number 3 on the news stories is because you never know with the National Enquirer.
Sure.
But let me give it to you. This is big if it's true.
Okay.
And weird and not cool for the president. The National Enquirer isn't the most believable publication, so remember that. I always give you a story from them with a grain of salt. But it says that Michelle Obama is furious at her husband because he is following a porn star on Twitter. Let me lay it out for it. Yeah, I agree. I think it's probably BS. President Obama is following a porn star on Twitter. Her name is Justin Jarrow.
Oh, so it's a girl porn star.
She's 31 years old, and his official Twitter account is among her 47,000 plus followers. The website doesfollow.com confirms it. Now, all I can tell you is that that's probably easy to fake and stage, and it's interesting.
That smells like Mike. That smells like Joe Biden to me. That smells like Joe Biden might have done that.
It's Joe Biden who's doing it. A source says, quote, when Michelle found out, she ranted at. No, you don't have a source in the White House bedroom? You know, was that where the
He's
source
not
came
running
from?
his own Twitter. There's no
Yeah,
chance.
you're right. He's not doing
He's got
that.
a BlackBerry. You know how hard it is to tweet off a BlackBerry? I don't even know if it's possible.
There you go. I throw it in there because it's amazing the crap that floats around out
I agree.
there.
Oh, speaking of the first family, yesterday, a 4:30 class, I went into Soul Cycle because I'm just that type of guy.
Sure.
That type of douchey guy that pays $30 per class to get a sweat on.
Right.
And I walk in, and Michelle Obama she had just wrapped up a class, and the place was packed with Secret Service. And I said, well, this is what it's like. This is what they talk about.
Wow.
Can we get that on tomorrow's show, please?
Sure.
Can we talk about that?
Sure.
We will lead with that tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear about the First Lady.
Pretty
That's
wild.
a good. He is sleepy this week.
Yeah, a little
isn't he?
bit maybe. I think.
Oh,
I think
Lord,
he would
all
come
right.
Too
in
much
screaming
going on.
that.
You
That's
get
pretty
used
cool
to it.
stuff.
Get used
Yeah,
to it.
I thought
absolutely.
Soul Cycle was a movie with Coolio. I didn't.
Have you
know.
talked about?
I-
Let me ask you. I always do this when I get paranoid.
Yeah.
Have you talked about it on your other show?
No, that's
Okay.
that's the second time it's happened. The first time I've ever talked about it. So.
Okay, I'm very excited. Everyone's being supportive of Bruce Jenner's transformation publicly, but behind the scenes, there is a war brewing between Team Jenner and Team Kardashian. I find this story to be credible because I feel the same way about what the Kardashians were all about.
Sure.
According to Us Weekly, Team Jenner consists of Bruce's. This is not according to. I'll tell you what Team Jenner is. Kids from his first 2 marriages: Bert, Casey, Brandon, and Brody. Sadly, Bruce's other biological children, Kendall and Kylie Jenner, are on Team Kardashian, along with their mom, Kris, and her kids, Kim, Khloe, Courtney, Carrie, Kobe, Kim.
But couldn't you
all
feel
of
this
them.
when you watch the special?
Yeah.
The classiness and the love
Yes.
from the first batch of kids.
Yeah, and the other family nowhere to be found.
Exactly.
I totally think I'm with it. If this is true,
I believe it
can find it.
100%.
Believe it. Bert, who is part of the original family, hinted at the rift after Friday's interview when he tweeted, quote, having a hard time not putting a few people on blast who were not supporters beforehand but want to act like they were all along. I agree with him.
Yep.
If they were that supportive, they would have been on that special.
Yeah.
And if Kim Kardashian is so goddamn supportive, she should have been on that special. And so should Kris have been on that special. But with Kris, I can even give her a free pass because she was married to Bruce Jenner, and she probably is very upset that this has gone down, that her male husband is transitioning to a female. I can understand that. It can't always be, sweetness and light. Doesn't work that way.
It's hard to put my finger on it, but even when you see the Kardashians on other outlets, there's a sincerity with Bruce's first kids that they can't communicate.
I totally agree.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, Bert deleted the tweet, but a source says, quote, he feels they're only supportive now for publicity. And if it's true, if he's really saying that, I agree with him. Anyway, the fan comments on sports websites are rarely measured, well thought out, or brilliant from a grammatical standpoint. In fact, they're about as far from that as you can get. So the automated proofreading company Grammarly did a study to find out which fan bases are the worst at spelling, grammar, and punctuation. They found that the worst offenders, the bottom feeders, at 16.5 mistakes per 100 words, belong to the fans of the Washington Redskins.
Hey! Whoa! Sorry.
Fans of the New Orleans Saints were the second worst, followed by the Miami Dolphins, the New England Patriots, the St. Louis Rams, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now for the best fans, the flip side, the most proper, which may seem a little surprising, the Detroit Lions fans.
Here. Detroit needs a win.
Lions fans only made 4.2 errors per 100 words. And I know there are a bunch of people now going, way to go, Mike.
Isn't that city half empty?
Yes. So, Mike, what you need to do
Good comeback for that city. That's cool.
Everyone that's listening, change your tweet from the Redskins don't play good to the Redskins don't play well.
There you go.
That's what you do.
And now a little something. Police in Bedford, Indiana, raided a home last week after they got a tip that it was a drug house, and it was. That was only illegal because they had meth and marijuana and one other little illegal thing going on inside. Yes, these horrible criminals in this house were also illegally keeping a pet squirrel.
Oh, no.
Yes, it's illegal to keep a squirrel, I guess. 51-year-old Sheila Philippe and 53-year-old Bradley Bundy were both arrested on a ton of drug possession charges and some firearms charges and possession of a wild animal without a permit in this meth house that was busted by the police in Indiana.
Oscar, this is not okay.
It's not good at all.
That's right.
On a side note, the squirrel was only 1 year old, but he looked like he was 50. All right. Take a break. Come back with more fun and more thrills.
I got that.
On the Mike O'Mara Show. Thank you.
Every Monday, listen to the gut-wrenching, tongue-twisting action on Americast. Get heart-pounding clips from the Mike O'Mara Show. Tick 411, Rob and Joe Show, and Cake and Cookies, the Rob and Katie Show. Hear fans of More Broadcasting say tear apart through More Broadcasting on iTunes, Stitcher, and of course, MikeO'MaraShow.com. Catch the action. Americast, part of the More Broadcasting Network.
I don't know why I hit that. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. Dear sweet mama, mamo, mommy, mama, nana, all the good names. You know what? She always had the last bite of pie for you. Now it's
like
her
Dean,
turn.
Mike.
Yes, mom, you always save the last piece of pie. Well, now here's what I'd like to do, mama. I'd like to give you, Rob, perhaps for the next Sherry's Berries commercial, we can have that lovely background guitar music, IOU.
Yes.
A good gift will make her eyes water, but the best gift will make her mouth water. Treat your mom to something sweet. I just have to do this in the Jimmy Dean voice.
And it really doesn't work with Quiet Riot, so let's do it dry.
Just here's something just for our listeners. Giant freshly dipped strawberries from Sherry's Berries, starting at $19.99. That's over a 40% savings. Simply go to berries.com. You click on the microphone in the upper right-hand corner and give your mom a berry IOU. That's right. I don't want to inundate you with too many letters here, but our code is TMOS. Amazing, luscious, gargantuan.
Most people look through their wallets or their pocketbooks, and way down at the bottom past the credit cards.
That's right. They find Sherry's Berries, a big bunch of fat, giant strawberries. They're hand-selected. They're dipped in decadent white, dark, and milk chocolatey goodness, topped with chocolate chips, nuts, and the ever-popular swizzle. Boy. We all love Sherry's Berries. We fight over them, and there are 10 of them. Here's the only way to get this amazing deal. Fresh dipped strawberries starting at
$19.99. This offer is for our listeners only when you use the code TMOS. Who doesn't want to do that? Visit berries.com. That's BERRIES.com, and tell your mom I owe you some delicious, luscious Sherry's berries. Click on the microphone in the top right-hand corner and type in TMOS. Again, that's berries.com. Click the mic, TMOS. It's great. Mother's Day is May 10th. Don't forget, so act now. Don't be a jerk. Treat your mom right this Mother's Day and treat her to Sherry's Berries, and send this right along to the Sherry's Berries people. And if they fire me, I'll certainly understand that. But right now, no time for
strong message.
Very sweet.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Mom, I owe you dipped strawberries. Let's open up the audio vault for Thursday, April 30th, 2015, Rob Speedway.
I can see them at Sherry's Berries saying, well, that's a new take.
Yeah,
That's-
no,
we-
$19.99.
Don't hear that a
Sherry's
lot.
as big as berries as big as your fist,
Now,
right?
the best, the best.
you go.
Mike,
Yeah.
yesterday they played an empty ballpark baseball game for the first time ever. You mentioned earlier that it was weird to look at, and you thought
Sure was.
maybe a very overly dramatic gesture at a time
Yeah.
of for a hurt city, right?
I thought so, but look, I'm not going to judge. I don't know. Look, they had their reasons. They got to get the game played. I think
Yep.
there were scheduling issues. They're moving the games this weekend to Trop Field down here in Tampa.
I think it also had
So-
to do with the TV contract. I think they
Yeah.
had to honor a certain amount of number
Yeah,
of
it was
games.
just very weird and depressing, especially even after the game when you had Buck Showalter being interviewed in that empty stadium. It's just the whole thing was.
I'm glad
sad.
you bring it up because I
bumper.
actually have here a tape of Baltimore Orioles Adam Jones, Buck Showalter, and Caleb Joseph talking about what it was like to play in an empty stadium.
You can hear everything, literally. So I told guys, you got to watch what you say to the umpires. They're going to hear everything in detail.
Coming up the runway and walking out, it was like, you're coming out for batting practice a little bit. Like when we hit here, nobody's in yet. And then you realize that, you're a few minutes away from playing a Major League Baseball game that's going to count.
For me, being right in the middle of catching a pitch and hearing the press box announcer notify the press that I think it was somebody's 60th home run or something, and I was like, well, that's pretty interesting.
That's good. That's good
Like,
take on
you
it.
don't normally hear that kind of stuff.
I mean, for the mental aspect of the game, it really probably had to mess with the players.
Yeah, I would think so. It's just the whole thing is sad. I do want that city to heal. Get back to Rockin' Camden Yard, one of the great ballparks in America.
Great stadium. But, Mike, he mentioned it was quiet. How quiet was it that during a moment of the game, you could hear a player, unidentified, hawking a loogie? I kid you not. I want you to listen very carefully. Keep in mind, he wasn't mic'd.
That's
it's
funny.
just him doing it in an empty stadium. And one
You
funny
sure that wasn't Tom Davis?
I'm not
That's
sure.
That's just a Baltimore sportscaster joke. A guy I worked with 150 years ago.
Gary Thorne was covering the game yesterday, and he was also unaccustomed to being in such a quiet environment that he called one play like he was doing a golf match.
Now, we talked today because nobody's in the yard about the appropriate way to broadcast. So with Adam Jones coming up here in the seventh inning, Jones' approach to the plate with Carroll delivering. Jones will whack the son of a gun to center field. That's very deep. It's deep, and it's off the base of the wall. He will head to second base. Adam Jones has a double, and that...
Did he do the
jacket is
whole
well
game
within
like
reach,
that?
Jim.
No, he just did one play like that, and he closes. He's sitting there with Jim Palmer. He says,
He's doing shtick,
yeah,
right?
he says, the green jacket is within reach, Jim.
Gary Thorne's a cool guy. I got a chance to meet him once. Really, really neat guy.
Now, there is I think the website is honestpoliticalads.com. It's something like that where they're doing parody ads that are actually calling for more honesty from politicians. I think you'll enjoy this fake ad, Mike. It's for Gil Fulbright for Senate.
Hi, I'm Gil Fulbright. The people that run my campaign, they've made this commercial, and I'm in it. This campaign, it's not about me. It's about crafting a version of me that'll appeal to you. A version that visits random work sites with paid actors pointing at things. A version of me that doesn't find old people loathsome or pointless. Listening to my constituents, legislating, these are things I don't do. What I do is spend about 70% of my time raising funds for re-election. I'd do anything to stay in office. My name's Gil Fulbright, but hell, I'll change my name to Phil Goldbright or Bill Fulbright or fill up my mouth with farts. So come November, the choice is clear. Do you want another spineless mouthpiece for special interest and lobbyists or a spineless mouthpiece for special interest and lobbyists? I'm fill up my mouth with farts, and I approve this message.
And the thing is, if you were to just watch it passively, it looks like a real ad, and
Nice.
nothing is said.
Nice.
So next time you see a political ad, think
That's
of that.
funny.
Oscar, do you remember this from 2007?
let rain. Some stay dry and others
Oh,
feel
yeah,
the
yeah,
pain.
yeah.
It was very hot on the internet for a while. It has 1.2 million views on YouTube, the Chocolate Rain video. Well, this guy, his name is Tay Zonde. He's still recording, Mike. I know that's good news to you. And his,
Oh, thank God for that, Rob.
his recordings have gotten better. Here's his take on Taylor Swift.
Go on too many days, but I can't make them stay.
Or if you want something more upbeat, he also does Meghan Trainor.
You know I'm all about that bass, no treble. I'm all about that bass,
Can't knock his hustle.
no treble. I'm all about that bass,
After 8 years,
Not bad.
he wants another big hit.
I wonder
think.
if that bet intruder guy's still out there doing his thing.
You know,
Oh, yeah, he's good. Hide your
I
family.
tell you,
Yeah.
hey, you know, all it makes me realize is I should probably learn to record in this studio. Thank you very much.
And Mike, if you get thirsty tonight, maybe you want to try out the new drink from Starbucks.
We start with a shot of our classic espresso. Then we add Frappuccino syrup. Then Oreo cookie crumbles. Then Oreo stuff. Then a bag of gummy worms. A Snickers bar. Half a tube of cookie dough. Then the other half of the tube of cookie dough. A donut. A handful of leftover Easter peeps. And a slice of cheesecake. Then we throw all that in a blender and you've got diabetes. Diabetachino. Starbucks. If there's a limit, we haven't found it yet.
The Diabetachino. And before we close up the vault, Oscar, you wanted to mention
A special
something.
happy birthday. I don't know if you guys have already said happy birthday to him, but TMO's fan club member from Las Vegas, Ronique.
Oh, the best.
Ronique Ransom or Ransom.
Hey,
I'm not
Ronique.
sure exactly how to
Absolute-
pronounce it. I always mess it up. But what a nice guy, right? What a supporter of the show.
The best.
Great guy, Ronique. Have a very happy birthday. Good luck with your son. I hope
Absolutely.
everything's going well. And he's a good guy and a huge supporter of the show. And he gets it. On that note, buddy, let's get out of here. That's
Thank
the
you,
end
Mike.
of the audio vault. Thank you, everybody. We'll be back with another brand new one tomorrow. That's it. Another Mike O'Mara Show is come and gone. Be sure and join us again for more fun and more thrills at MikeO'MaraShow.com. If you want to correspond, it's TMOS, Box 2796, Leesburg, Virginia, 20177. To get your message into the Wednesday mailbag, it's Rob with 2 B's at MikeO'MaraShow.com. And remember, we rely on your word of mouth. Tell a friend or family member about TMOS and make sure they get it too. For Rob Spiewak and Oscar Santana, Mike O'Mara inviting you to join us tomorrow when we will be discussing Oscar Santana's brush with the First Lady.
Oh, my goodness.
Have a good one. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Wait, don't go. I need to tell you that MikeO'MaraShow.com/Amazon is perfect for all your online shopping needs. Shop the best way. Shop Amazon. And please go through our website, always open at MikeO'MaraShow.com/Amazon.
Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.